and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. Today it's an announcement, which always makes me shake with nerves, so if I look terrified, it's because I am. We've even put false eyelashes on to give ourselves a full sense of security, and if anything, it's just made me more self-conscious about my face. So, skipping ahead to what you're actually here for, you'll have seen in the title, the Bridesmaid Survival Guide announcement. What is that? Why should you care? And how would you support me if at all you wanted to? That's a coherent sentence, we'll just go with that. This time last year-ish, it was actually in March, I released an anthology of short stories, love stories, all about my life. It was very memoir based. They were very kind of like, some of them were like essays, some of them were just flat short stories, some of them were flash fiction. There was a whole variety in there, but they were all about me and people that I know and experiences that I've had, and it was very much in the non-fiction but creative non-fiction section. Now, I did this for two reasons. The first is because I really want to get an agent. I really want to get an agent, and I've kind of promised myself that I'm going to self-publish a book every year that I don't have an agent, so that I am constantly working on something creative outside of work, outside of BookTube, that is purely for me. It was a very self-indulgent release. The other reason is, as a ghostwriter, I often have clients ask me, can they see my work? Can they see examples of my writing? But the whole point of being a ghostwriter is that I don't own the rights to any of the things that I write. If I write for a client, it belongs to them. And if they've not told anyone that I've written for them, I can't say anything either. So I needed to have a portfolio of work that I could show my clients and basically say, here's what I can do. So all the writing styles, I've actively tried to give individual voices and kind of show that yes, I can write on the more non-fiction side, yes, I can do the more creative writing side, that my BA in English and creative writing and my master's was not a complete fucking waste of time. I do kind of know what I'm doing. That was essentially what this was. And what blew me away was the response, because I don't think I did. I did like a couple of videos mentioning it, and I brought it up a couple of times, and I released one of the short stories as like an audio book, and yet the support I got from the BookTube community was incredible. And I hope the people that have included FATLIP in their videos don't mind, but I just wanted to include a few clips here because I still can't fucking take a compliment, and just hearing people talk about my writing, it just makes me really happy. So I'm going to put those here so that you can just see not just what I think of this, but what others thought of it as well.
Is FATLIP, and this is an anthology written by our very own Hannah. I will again leave her channel down below in case you haven't checked out any of her videos. She's super funny, she's super entertaining, and she's always coming up with these new and interesting and amazing concepts for her channel, and I just really love her so much. She just really, every time I watch her, it's just like brightens my day, and I always leave with a huge smile on my face because she's funny again, and she's just a great overall person, so please go check out her channel. But her little anthology was amazing. It was cute. It made me feel very, very nostalgic. I read this also for my 24-hour reading vlog, and it was really nice. It was the last book I read, so it was a nice thing to end on because it just made me think about a lot of things in my youth, a lot of the stuff that I went through, and just a lot of things that we tend to struggle with as just teens, young adults, and well into adulthood. And it's always kind of nice to be kind of reminded of that, especially because then you can see kind of like your growth and how far you come, and just things that don't bother you anymore, or things that you may still need to work on. It was really good. I enjoyed every one of the stories. So I would highly recommend reading the book.
For this being one of Hannah's first published works that she's done on her own, I do really think that it was great, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else she comes out with in the future. And I really think it was bold of her to take her personal stories and make them into a collection, and I really enjoyed reading it.
So I did end up finishing FATLIP by Hannah O'Donnell, and I rated it 4 stars. This is not my usual kind of thing, I think I said that before, but I am actually really in the mood for contemporary books at the minute. So I decided to squeeze this one in while I had some time and also was in the mood for it, so that it was more likely to get a higher rating from me. And I think that really worked out because I did really enjoy reading this. Not all of them, because this is an anthology. I didn't love all of the stories, but they did all combine into something that really worked. Like, it's a kind of memoir style anthology, and I just liked seeing these small tidbits of Hannah's life because a lot of it was really relatable. A lot of it was funny, but at the same time, quite a lot of it was quite raw and honest, and I don't know, I don't know what it made me. I don't want to say emotional, but it kind of just piqued my interest, I guess, because a lot of it I could relate to, but then in a lot of cases I couldn't relate to it, and it was just really interesting seeing how a story can be both something you recognise so wholeheartedly while also just not relating to it at all. So while it's not usually my thing, I did end up quite enjoying it, and I'm really glad that I have ticked this one off the list because it was very much needed, especially when it's this short.
I expected me to like it, you know, but I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars because at the end there were some stories I didn't really connect with. It's not to say that a book always has to connect with me in order for it to be good, but like in order for me to give it 5 stars, I have to really connect with it. And I did connect with a lot of these stories, especially about mother-daughter relationships, but also the stories about dating, and especially this one where she's talking to guys on dating apps. Like there were some passages in here that were just so funny, like laughing out loud funny. I think if you love Dolly Alderton's book, All About Love, which is one of my favourites, you will absolutely adore this too. And yeah, support an independent author and buy Hannah's book because it was so good. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Can't wait for her next book to come out because I illustrated the front cover, so that's really exciting as well. I'm just really excited overall.
Okay, so why is that relevant? Well, essentially, like I said, I want to be self-publishing a book every single year until I get an agent because she's got to do something creative, she's got to have some kind of outlet, and this is the one that I've gone for. So this year's self-published book is not going to be non-fiction. I did promise the guys that are in the book, in this book, I did promise them that the next one would be fiction and fictitious and based on no one that I know. People that have read it already have said that the main character very much reminds them of me, and I think that's because I've really lent into the fact that I can write how I speak. In this one I'm pushing that. 9 times out of 10 I try and go for a different voice, but I feel like this is very me. But essentially it is called The Bridesmaid Survival Guide. It is a YA rom-com. It is a romance, but it's a funny romance. I didn't want it to be a straight romance because I can find that those can be a bit cringy. These are, if you cringe, you've cringed on purpose. Like, I've done it to kind of entertain. I have always wanted to be a writer who entertains her audience. I'm sure you can tell by the content that I put out that really she's been a class clown her whole life. I love making people laugh. So for me, knowing that I can create something that they're just going to enjoy, that it's just a really cute, short little romance to just entertain, was 100% the goal, whilst I'm still getting agents for my darker, more gothic-y murder mystery type stuff, which is very not, well, I mean, it was what you expect from me and the fact that, like, what I read, but this is definitely for more the entertainment side of it. I'm letting you know that as of the 4th of June it will be released. So it is now available for pre-order. Now, something about the pre-order that I should mention. I have a company where I ghostwrite, but I also have a company where I sell books. I will be exclusively selling this book through Waypoint. Now, there will be an ebook copy as well as a paperback. I can't afford to get hardbacks printed, but that's not to say that later books won't be done as hardbacks. So the launch is going to be on June the 4th. We're actually hosting a live stream on the night of June the 4th to kind of celebrate. It will definitely be Leora and I, and I'm going to try and persuade a couple of other guests to join me to celebrate. So that live stream link will also go up nearer the time, so keep your eye out for that. Now that I've kind of given you the preamble, let's tell you about Bridesmaid Survival Guide other than just genre and age range, etc. Because I think if you're still here and you're still listening, it's because you're actually interested in supporting me and my content, and specifically interested in a potential YA rom-com that you'll enjoy. 2 weeks before Aunt Em's wedding, Reverie gets dumped, which isn't ideal at the best of times, but even worse when you have to pretend to be happy around couples who are pretending they're still in love with each other. Reverie doesn't want to be a bridesmaid. If she had known how much work it would have been, she would never have agreed to it in the first place. So she's got all that going on for her. She's got a survival guide to help her get through it, but she's struggling. To make it worse, Ryan seems to be there every time she embarrasses herself. So that just makes matters worse. I'm aimed definitely for like a YA Get a Life Chloe Brown vibe mixed with a little bit of Angus thongs and full frontal snogging. Like, it very much leans into the YAs that I read as a teen, those kind of like cheesy, fun, bouncy type YAs, if that makes any sense at all. I am going to be doing a lot of content over the next few weeks related to Bridesmaid Survival Guide and trying my best not to give spoilers, because it's hard enough when I'm reviewing other people's books and trying not to tell you how it ends, but I wrote the ending for this, so I very much know how it ends. It's a struggle not to just tell you how it ends. I mean, you might have your suspicions already from that synopsis, who knows. I am nervous about releasing this, as any creator is nervous about putting something out there that they actually care about. It's very easy to make like a throwaway video and then be like, if it bombs, I can delete it, or I can edit it and I can restructure it. Once this book is out, it's out, and it has my name on it. And it has Leora's name on it, because Leora created the front cover. Leora is a fantastic illustrator and a friend. She's an absolute babe. Now, Leora from Wine Daisies did the artwork for Gothtober, and I was so impressed that I had to ask her. I had to ask her to do the front cover. Now, she's also agreed to do the front cover for the other 4 books in this series, because of course it's a fucking series. They are going to be like individual standalones, and they are all around the same group of friends. But, I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself now. So, we had a few Zoom meetings, we had loads of ideas. I had a very specific idea of what I wanted my front cover to look like, and it was based on photos that I found on Instagram and Pinterest and things like that. I had this very specific idea, but I also know I don't know artwork and the composition of artwork in the same way that Leora does, and I very much trusted her advice. When she said that actually these things would work, I was like, give it a go and let's see. And of course she was absolutely right. So this is not what the front cover looks like. This is what the front cover looks like. I absolutely love it. You can say no bad things about it. It is stunning. The colours are great. The artwork is stunning, and I'm so excited to see it in real life when it's actually in a paperback in my hands. That's really exciting to me. Love that. So yeah, essentially the paperback, like I said, is going to be available via Waypoint. It will be available to pre-order as of this video going out. The other thing I would say is there will be a blog tour going around, and there are a couple of spots available for people who want to jump on. If you haven't yet asked me, it'll be over the span of like 2 weeks, so let me know if you want to jump on the blog tour. I guess the only other thing left to do is to thank everyone who's helped me, whether it's helping me with my writing just by doing writing sprints with me, or editing, or giving me feedback, whatever it is. Like, I massively appreciate it. So super important people that will be in the acknowledgements are Sean, who's my editor, Leora, who's the artist, Olivia and Kelly, who've done writing sprints with me, Priscilla, who's supported me the whole way through, Molly, Emma and Ali, who've just had to listen to me whinge for about a year. Love that for me. Like, all these people have just made a massive difference, so I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you. And thank you for getting this far in my video. So if you did make it this far and you are still interested in Bridesmaid Survival Guide, drop a little purple heart in the comments so I know you got this far. Again, the same as with the Gothtober announcement, I feel giddy when I do an announcement because I start off really nervous and by the end I'm just like, ball's in your court now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you pre-order my book because that would really support me. And other than that, I just hope you have a nice day. Oh, and FATLIP is still available via Waypoint as well, in case you're intrigued. Bye!